I'd just like to state then that I've come in for the roundtable portion of this, and I've got this lovely, huge thing of Americano coffee. But what worries me is the fact that Ashlanne and Aimee have already finished theirs. So I'm kind of far behind.
No way. It's more than halfway full.
Okay. But you're even more dangerous on that stuff.
Mine's a chai. It's not coffee.
So you gave me the sugar and coffee.
So,
I can't drink coffee anymore.
round table.
Round table. Let's go.
Round table. You know this table isn't round.
We need a square table.
And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at Ashlanne's notes on here, and they're little hieroglyphics. She tells me these are letters, but I guess if you turn them sideways. And then we have something scribbled on the next page. It says, it was whatever. I think she's enrolled in a course to fix that later this year. Anyway, welcome all. I'm Brasse. They couldn't keep me out of here today. And we're here to talk about what? Recapping all of the shows we've been to this summer?
Yeah, it's the podcast 114, the event recap cast. Yeah.
The event recap cast.
Yeah.
We got to get a better name than that.
Do you have a better name?
No. After all the stuff that we've been to, I'm ready just to do a face plant and be done with it.
We could just name it the Irk Cast.
Irk.
The Irk
Whatever
cast.
it is I wrote on there. It's Wednesday, July 27th, 2011, and we've been... Yeah. I'm sorry, what? And
That's really sad. That's like end of July. Last time I looked, it was May 14th. Sorry, carry on.
We plan to release this on Friday, July 29th, 2011. As you've noted, Linda Brasse Carlson is in here. And Robin Nailey is highly caffeinated now. Irk. And I'm getting highly caffeinated. My name is Aimee Ashlanne Rekoske. In this podcast, we have an interview with Justin Dazet, Clone Wars adventure game designer.
Terrific.
Yeah, two. Yeah, he said two. And then he had...
There's two of him?
Well, no.
We cloned them.
We
do.
That is awesome.
We're going to recap Fan Faire and Comic-Con for you. We're going to give you info about GamesCon and DragonCon. We also have a new fan spot winner for you. Mm-hmm. We hope you enjoyed today's show. We're going to take it away to the news with Abby Watt.
Thanks, Aimee, and here's the news. In Clone Wars Adventures, the summer campaign, Mission on Iceberg 3, is here. The Calamari system is under threat of an impending Separatist attack. General Grievous and the Separatist forces are making advances on the system and may soon threaten the home planet of Mon Calamari. Can you help the Republic make it to Iceberg 3 in time to save the region? SOE worked closely with Dave Filoni, supervising director of the Clone Wars TV series, to create the exclusive storyline in the Mission of Iceberg 3 content updates and minigames. It kicks off at the end of Season 3 following the battle at Felucia, where the players are given a dangerous assignment from Plo Koon: save the Calamari system from an impending Separatist attack. The seasonal series Mission on Iceberg 3 will be the go-to virtual summer hangout and is the only place where players can stay current on the latest news and events from Star Wars, Clone Wars Adventures, until the premiere of Season 4 this fall. In EverQuest news, Big Bags are back, due to popular demand, starting this Friday, July 29th, and lasting through Sunday, July 31st. Big Bags will be returning to Marketplace for an extremely limited engagement. If you missed out on getting one of the big bags from the Marketplace the first time around and want a chance to buy one before they leave the Marketplace for several months, now is the time to act. It's time for Tinkerfest in EverQuest 2. Join your fellow Nerathians at this annual Gnomish festival, a celebration of life and all things Gnomish. Don't miss out, the fun only happens from July 29th through August 8th. This weekend, from 12:01 a.m. Pacific on Friday, July 29th, until 11:59 p.m. Pacific on Sunday, July 31st, we'll be running a true double XP promotion. Take advantage of these 3 days and watch those XP bars fill up. This applies to all servers and includes trade skill, adventure, and AA experience. The famous farming update has finally arrived in Free Realms. This update brings new marketplace items like the Briarwood Farm Lot, the Sprinkler, Scarecrow, Crop Duster, Vaultberry Bush, Briarapple Seeds, and a Plants Dance boombox with a new dance. There are also several other farming improvements, like the Seed Bag Tool, Scythe Tool, updates to the Misfortune system, farm clearing rewards, improvements to the farming experience, new Briarwood farm quests, Briar Apple Overworld farming nodes, overhead icons and map locations for the Overworld plant nodes, and new Briarwood Farm Farmers Market recipes and rewards. The June and July members packs have arrived. The June pack granted 10,000 coin and a land shark, while the July pack granted 10,000 coin and a special July sparkler. Get a membership on Free Realms and you'll start earning these types of rewards too. Pax Nora's 17th expansion, Heritage, is coming soon to a war-torn battlefield near you. Releasing August 3rd, this full expansion will focus on the old, familiar races in Pax Nora. Heritage will also return to the classic 10-rune pack format, coming with 6 common runes, 3 uncommon runes, and a rare, with each rare having a 10% chance to become an exotic. And yes, boxes are back. Check the forums for more information, room previews, and more. You won't want to miss this. Also, beginning July 29th, players may want to check the Pax Nora or SOE Facebook pages for a chance to win 3 of these new Heritage packs. Like us, and you can find details on either page. And in other game news, Overkill Software's Payday the Heist was shown at our booth at Comic-Con this past weekend. Check out the 3 minutes of gameplay footage posted on GameTrailers.com during Comic-Con. And Sideway from Fuel Entertainment was also a hit at our booth at Comic-Con this year. Would you like more information on this title? Check out the preview from GameInformer.com. And that's the news. Back to you, Aimee.
All right. So that was great news with our dragon, Abby.
Oh, for God's sake, take the caffeine away from these women. They just can't handle it. Next time it'll be Brasse brings the whiskey.
Yay!
And Aimee and Robin will be on the floor, passed out. It'll be nice and quiet.
Yep. All right. So as you can tell, we have caffeine. I did a Starbucks
Which she has
run
now said
earlier.
3 times.
Yeah. So we have listener emails, feedback, and follow-ups.
Ah, grand.
Yes. I have the first one. It's from Nat Joe. He says, "I hope there will be a special podcast for the Swig Sunset, or will it be will there be large attention over the next few podcasts?"
Yeah, I can tell you that we'll certainly, as soon as there's a plan fully in place and approved by all of the internal and external partners, we're going to be revealing everything that we know about what's coming out. Chances are you're going to read it on the website first, but yeah, we'll definitely be covering it on the webcast. And on the podcast and on webcasts, and it'll give me an excuse to bring my lightsaber to work.
Yeah, the next one. That's what that squiggly line means.
Oh, the squiggly line means me. Awesome. The next one is from Fallacy. LOL. Very sorry for mixing up your names, ladies. I am terrible with names and various other things that I'm sure my wife would be more than happy to share with you. Too much information, lad. But to tell you the truth, I'm terrible with names too. I mean, I've been at SOE for just over 2 years now, and I still need frickin' name tags when I go from building to building. It's terrible if I have to introduce someone new, and I'm hoping I don't get put into a spot. Anyway, let me continue with reading what he says here.
You gave it a long one.
Thanks for looking into the statues, even if they end up not being possible. After looking into more detail myself, it turns out that it's a lot more complicated than just tossing the 3D model and textures into a prototype and printer and calling it a day. Yeah, they have to make changes by hand and to the models themselves to ensure that the statues are strong enough and look as one would expect. I'm sure the feathers of Tatwee's Night Sister Carnage Beret would be a nightmare to reproduce, for instance. Still, if it could be done, it would be awesome. Awesome is such a great word. I'm not sure if I'd use it to describe the Fan Faire countdown song, though. That perhaps was wild instead, but it was definitely something. Thank you, Fallacy. I have to agree with you in all respects. Awesome is a grand word, and we do tend to overuse it here. For instance, Ashlanne snorking there as she laughs, that's sometimes considered to be awesome as well.
All right, Saber says, "Kudos on another great podcast." Oh, by the way, this is all podcast on feedback on 112. Sorry about that.
Because we missed it because of the events.
Looking forward to the Fan Faire podcast. It's upcoming next week. You want to share that one?
Wow. Okay, well, look. There's a squiggly that apparently means my turn on this paper, and I'm looking at it. And see, Ashlanne just took one that only had a line and a half. This one has 412 lines. All right, so the rest of you can just go out on break while I read this one. Now, it says, this came via email. From... Tatwe of Sinner on Starsider. Okay, let's check it out here. This is a really long one, and I haven't practiced, so here we go. How the SOE Podcast Gang. I likely should have thought to send this request before Fan Faire, as it would have been a great format to share some of the visuals and commentary with the fans. However, I didn't think of it, but still the podcast quality is pretty good these days, so I think it'll do nicely. When I loaded up the Swig TCG for the first time and figured out how to redeem me free card packs, I was floored by the sheer volume of great artwork that's on each of the cards. In the past, the only cards I've ever collected were hockey cards, so I really didn't know what to expect from the TCG experience. Now, I'm not an artist. I mean, if you're looking for a really nice crayon drawing of a two-dimensional tree, then I'm your man. I can provide me 2- and 5-year-old daughters as references if you're in the market. But when it comes to taking the imagery in one's mind and translating that into visual form, particularly what's created is expressionist rather than just an attempt to recreate or adapt reality to a different medium. It's hard to explain, but I suppose an artist doesn't just try to paint a photograph. Instead, an artist will transform a series of brushstrokes into something that, when seen as a whole, becomes a beautiful visual representation of the subject material. For me, well, I can't do that, and I have always really admired people who have that creative ability. The TCG artists really added a lot to Swig over the last couple of years, with much of their art being incorporated into the loading screens of the game itself. When the Witches of Dathomir content was released, I remember being so inspired and impressed by not only the quality of the loading screen artwork, but also how the artist managed to really capture not just the Star Wars feeling of the material, but also...
SWG.
I see. Yeah, but also the Star Wars Galaxy's feeling of material. For instance, the clothing wasn't just similar to the clothing assets in the game, but in most cases it was the clothing in the game. Another example is one of the pictures that comes up right now, where a man is holding a package of missiles and chaff in his right hand. The container isn't similar to a chaff container in Swig, it's exactly the same. To me, it's that level of awareness and attention to detail that has helped to set Swig apart from other games on the market. And when it comes to the TCG artwork, I am astounded by the sheer volume that the team produced, given how well it hit the mark and delivered on the Star Wars experience. So I suppose I should get to the point of all this rambling. See, we're only halfway through here. I was wondering if it would be possible to have some of the TCG artists as guests on one of the podcasts. I'm hoping that they could tell us a bit about the processes they use to create their work, a bit about themselves, and what their work means to them. Personally, I think it would be a fun show to watch, and of course, when it comes to Swig, it would be a nice tribute to a unique part of the Swig experience. Yeah, I know lots of folks love to hate the TCG for its loot cards, but I think it's safe to say that we all enjoyed the plethora of Swig-themed artwork that came along with all the drama. Heck, we even had some entertainer artwork in there to go along with that theme. Of the many aspects of Swig that I will miss in the years to come, many of the images that will be conjured in my mind of the game will have been painted by the TCG artists. I respect and appreciate their epic level of awesomeness, and I hope that they know that their work really had a positive impact on the game. Sincerely, Tatwe of Sinner on Starsider. What?
There's more.
I know there's more. Robin's churning her hands, sort of like, keep going. Okay. P.S. Brasse, you are me dwarven hero. And now that I know you're armed with more than just a beer stein, I'll try harder to stay in your good graces, and the community teams as well. But yeah, I had no idea Han wasn't kidding when he called that thing an ancient weapon. You're damn skippy. I love me lightsaber. You should see the DPS on that thing. It's tremendous. And I keep trying to talk Georgeson into putting it into EQ and EQ too. So far without success. But anyway, that was a terrific letter. And I have to say that, yes, I agree. The TCG art is amazing. One of my previous careers was as an artist, and I know what a struggle it is to try to make a living doing at that. And these people are those that have persevered throughout decades of effort, and their work is really, really, truly tremendous. I'm pretty sure that we can wrangle with Mark Tuttle to get some artists on this show, even if they call in.
Video cast.
The webcast.
Oh, the webcast. That would be terrific to have maybe some of the art images shown in the background while we have them talking. That would be really great. I'm pretty... Yes, we will say we can pull that off. No problem. You've made the note, right?
I did. Right
there you go.
For 113 podcast feedback, Matt NZ says, "What happened to it?"
It's on YouTube.
We had the podcast 113?
Live at Fan Faire.
Yeah. That's the one I missed. Let me tell you what happened.
Robin
All
and
right,
I
so...
are like...
Yeah, I know. Okay, so I'm all in me dwarven gear, right? I can't hear nothing out of the headpiece. I just come off the stage. Things are going on. People are talking to me. And I get told that some people want to interview me. So, right, I go off and there's nobody there. So I wander back. I don't want to miss the podcast, right? And then I'm told that, oh, no, they're there now and they're waiting for you. And I wander back. And anyway, I missed the podcast. By the time I got back to the grand ballroom, and I'm looking at my iPhone now, which I have dug out of my purse, and I'm going, Ashlane's gonna frickin' kill me. But there's not a damn thing I can do about it now, so I think I'm gonna have a beer on the way. No, but the good thing is that I watched the podcast. Actually, I just watched it yesterday, so I knew what I'd be talking about. And it was actually really good. You guys did a great job. Everybody joined in to help you, and I don't think anybody missed me at all.
I did.
We did.
Did you? Did you really? Well, next year what we've got to do is, if I've got an interview, they'll just have to come to the podcast with me, and we will interview them.
Yeah!
Actually, that would be a lot of fun. But it was really well done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, whatever happened to podcast 113? I seem to recall an email going out last week from Robin going, whatever happened to podcast 113? So, yeah, it's up now, right? Yep.
Well, it's on YouTube. Still. It hasn't made it to iTunes or the other media yet.
It will before this podcast.
Ah. So it's up.
Sure. Yes, it's
What-
up at
what
the time
was
of this
lost?
podcast.
Now has been found.
But we have no feedback on it other than on YouTube it has 4 likes and 2 dislikes. I know.
Oh, I want to hear about the dislikes.
Me too, but they didn't leave any feedback. And it has 467 views.
That's not bad at all.
Not for a podcast.
Probably 468 now that I've watched it as well.
I did want to say some of our podcasts fell off of iTunes.
We have no idea why.
110, 111, and 112.
It's magic.
And as of last Thursday, they're back up there. So
Really?
go download them. Yes.
So they disappeared?
I made them reappear.
Oh, I see. Okay,
that
so they
wasn't
didn't
me.
just magically... Okay.
They didn't magically reappear.
I
That was
have to tell
halfling
you,
magic.
we deal with the most ridiculous amounts of strange technical hoodoo ever.
Indeed. We do.
It's like at the EQ... I hope people don't mind me telling. Well, I'll see if I get fired tomorrow. But we're at the EQ2 monthly business meeting yesterday, and we're talking about the website and EQ2 and how we're going to have these interstitials and make sure that people have the choice between EQ2X and EQ2 live servers. And so Smith says, well, let's go look at that now. And we go to the website and we click on the thing and nothing happens. All we get is this ugly white page with some text crammed into the upper left corner. And we're all sitting there with our jaws open looking at our website. And Smith puts his arm up real high and he says, okay, so who else is embarrassed by this? Because everybody should have their hands up. and so George just he hits F5 and it refreshes and it serves up. Meanwhile, at the back of the room, the platform people are all on their iPhones texting people going, wow! So apparently what happened was some sort of weird web server glitch. Now, in order to load these things fast, this is me understanding, and understand I'm a dwarf, not a gnome. But to the best of me understanding, the way the gnomes have this worked out is when you call up these pages, it pulls assets from a number of different web servers. And I guess the theory is it loads faster. But apparently they had just identified a glitch with the web servers and they were busily fixing it. And by the time we got out to the meeting, it was done. But what terrible timing to have the website look like that. Anyway, it was pretty humorous. Yes.
That's awesome.
So Fan Faire 2011 is over, and we wanted to chat about it a little. So what was your favorite part?
Hanging out with the players. I mean, I love that. And the problem is that it's really tiring and you're going from morning until night. And yet by the end of the grand banquet and people are leaving, that's just the saddest time of all. So yeah, just getting to talk to the players one-on-one is terrific. So I guess that's my favorite. But I mean, it's pretty hard because there's so many great things about it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite bit?
I don't know, just like seeing the people at the end of the grand banquet when everybody's out there and cheering for their games, and when whoever's hostessing, like you this year, and having any Q fans out there, and they're all, and they're just cheering for their favorite game, and when the costume contest is going on, and there's a swag costume on there, and the swag fans are like, it's just cool to, these people, that games are more than a game to them, and that comes out at Fan Faire every year, and it's so cool to see that, to feel that.
And how about for you, Robin?
I have to say it's a little odd, but it's during teardown. All the players are kind of mingling outside the doors, waiting, hoping to catch somebody. And it seems a little more relaxed. So you can go up and talk to them, and they want to talk to you, and it's
mellow.
A really nice time.
Yeah. I just spent most of yesterday evening compiling a metric ton of feedback about Fan Faire. And really, really appreciate all of the feedback. The things that went wrong, which were surprisingly few in number. The things that went really right, which were surprisingly numerous. I mean, people had a really good time, and we're definitely going to take all of that feedback into account for next year. And I suspect that of the real issues that we ran into, we can probably provide some resolution to them.
Cool.
And we have a meeting now scheduled for Monday afternoon where we're going to go over this all with a fine-tooth comb. It's going to be really terrific. And I can hardly wait for next year. I hope that we can announce it really far in advance this year again.
Yeah, me too.
It'll be good.
So I wanted to touch on the community address a little. I went to pull it up so that we could chat on it in more detail. And it has copyright infringement laws on it.
On
YouTube? And I was
really?
like, yeah, so...
Did they cite what did we violate?
I don't know. Probably a song or something is on there.
But...
Probably in, like, before it goes live, there's, like, silence and the hotel's playing music.
Oh, and the hotel's playing music. Really?
And because we got the files from Game Breaker, it's going to take us a little bit longer to fix that. But the video is still available on Game Breaker's site. So I'm going to link that in the show notes and the Fan Faire recap that I'm working on.
Yeah, because they had a really long preamble, and then they had a post-show discussion as well.
Yeah.
So,
But in there is some great PlanetSide 2 info and some stuff about Forge Light.
Which is our new game engine.
And some Star Wars Galaxy stuff, which was pretty emotional. I was in the audience during...
That was rough. I had watched the video a couple of times, and they had asked me to talk about Swig. I mean, I've played Swig since early beta, and, well, early beta. 2 minutes into beta. It's been a long, long time, and it was really, really tough. And I figured as long as I don't look directly at anyone, I can carry this off. It was really difficult.
I don't care what anybody at my table said. I did not have a stack of napkins ready to run up to the stage for you.
It was hard. I was looking at some of the Fan Faire feedback too, and one of the comments was, "Geez, thanks for making me cry." Believe me, it was rough.
Our table was half Swig players, half my guild. So you could see the emotion on their faces, and they appreciated it.
It was nice, and it led to some really good discussions after the fact as well with the folks from Swig, and very bittersweet.
Talking with the Star Wars Galaxy players over Fan Faire was probably the hardest part about Fan Faire, other than the work and the raggedness we run. But listening to the emotion in their voice, and it was hard.
Yeah, I went to the Galactic Gathering where after the devs talked some, and everybody was having a few words, and then it turned in. Jason Ryan came back for that. We brought him in specially for this, and some of you know him as Pex, the original events manager on Star Wars Galaxies, and he started off a series of I remember, and that's all we did for about 40 minutes. Is just stood around saying I remember. that sort of stuff. But the important thing to know is that we're still doing all of that too. And Star Wars Galaxies itself, the game itself, has never been in better shape. And they're going to be releasing the final Galactic Civil War content, and people are still making fantastic missions using the mission creation system that we've got in the game. It's a good time to be there. Now I have to say that I'm not a dwarf in Star Wars Galaxies. I actually play a Twi'lek. Yes, or a Twi'lek as some of you call it. Kind of unrecognizable. Take a dwarf, stretch it on a rack, pull out its ears, and then paint it a fancy colour after shaving.
That's what I play too.
That's pretty much what I play. I do have a secondary character that is a Bothan, which is much more dwarfy. So, question for you, podcast listeners. I'm rather loath to reveal me personal play character on Star Wars Galaxies, except to people who are real life friends, because it's kind of an escape for me even now. But for the last remaining months, I'd like to start a new character in Star Wars Galaxies. I'll probably put it on me Starsider server, where my guild is now, and pick a race and a class for me. Actually, let me go Bothan, because that's very dwarfy.
Yes.
And then pick what class, because I thought about making a character, and I had actually made a really cool-looking little female Bothan, but I couldn't decide on what profession I wanted to be. I mean, they all hold some appeal to me, so I thought, pick something. That's what I'll play for the next 5 months.
We'll put that in the show notes with a little poll for them to vote on.
Thank you kindly.
All right.
I'm scared to ask. Beer runner. That would be grand. Oh, wait, that's not a profession. It will be now.
I'm working on a Fan Faire recap that kind of encompasses all of Fan Faire. The individual community managers have been working on their own and posting those. But I wanted to throw it out there to podcast listeners. If you have one, to share it with us. Send in a link so we can include that.
Right.
I know my Vanguard players have already posted theirs.
Yeah, it'd be great to include the Vanguard ones, the Star Wars ones, and all of them. We had a couple Pox Nor players at Fan Faire. If they did one,
you're done, right? We did.
It'd be great to.
Yeah, I think that some of the Pox players have already posted something.
Yeah,
and we should definitely cover that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it'd be really good to include all those. I've been working on that. About halfway done with it. So
right, and this is something that I asked Aimee to do so that we could provide it sort of as an end cap to the SOE Fan Faire website, so that we all have something to refer back to. The fan site coverage this year was amazing.
Phenomenal.
I mean, in years past, we've had like 1 or 2 articles, maybe one per site. This year there were several.
It's like Santa's list.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have to give special shout out to Feldon right now of EQ2 Wire. That guy posted like a madman on site instantly as stuff was happening for EQ2. It was going up on his site. That was pretty impressive, but I understand some people got some photographs of him passed out from all the effort, slumped over in a chair, absolutely exhausted. So, we really appreciate the efforts that the fan sites went to get this stuff up. It was grand.
On the same note as Fan Faire, Vanguard, was the big, a lot of people talked about Vanguard at Fan Faire.
Aye.
Lots of questions about updates coming. And so on that note, Smed was on EQ2 online radio last night. He was on the Jethel show.
Oh, right.
And took questions from the players. And the host presented Lazaretto's question. Is that correct, Robin? Regarding the future of Vanguard.
Right, because everybody knows that at Fan Faire it was said that there would be some updates coming to Vanguard. Yep. So carry on.
So Smed said they are putting a dev team in place and they plan to release updates this year. He said one of the problems was that people who worked on the game in the past are either spread out working on other SOE projects or they've left the company. He did say the game was in no danger of being shut down and that they are putting the pieces in place to give it much more support, trying to grow the game once again. More details are to come. Free to play may be down the road and is not off the table either.
Free to play is a really difficult transition for any live game. That would be an interesting one for Vanguard.
The reason he brought that up is Salim did say part of this pass, it will not happen. So it will not be in the next year.
Right.
It may come
down the
later.
line in a different roadmap.
So do you guys actively play Vanguard?
No.
I log on
Robin.
a couple times.
Yeah.
I have a little wee goblin shaman who's in need of some company.
Sure.
It was a lot of fun. I have a dwarf as well, but I just have way too much fun.
Goblin shaman.
The goblins are really well done. I love that race.
I know the Vanguard players don't really like the Trial Island, but I love it as a new player. I loved it. I've played it like twice now. It's once I get out to the level 20, 30 range that I just sit there and go.
Start getting lost.
It's a big world.
Huge world. Huge. I remember when I was drawing the overall continent map for Vanguard and thinking, this is freakishly huge. I mean, this is, how are players ever going to get from one end to the other?
Yeah.
But I mean, they do have the flying mounts. And Vanguard had flying mounts way before the mainstream MMOs. Ours and others had flying mounts. So, it achieved a number of interesting firsts.
Yeah. So,
that's all great news.
on to other events.
Oh, yes.
You were at Comic-Con. Both of you were at Comic-Con.
Oh, yes. My God, were we?
Fantastic.
What? You see, Robin went... Here's the dichotomy. Robin went as a player.
For the first
to
time
go
in
see
years.
stuff, right? I was working the SOE booth. Now, I love working booths. I love talking to players, but it's a long show. I mean, there's the preview night on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, tons of good conversations, floods of people coming through. Let me tell you, by Friday and Saturday, actually Friday was good, but Saturday and Sunday, it was like the zombie hordes had been let loose. I mean, people love their swag, but, by the weekend when people are worried that they're not going to get their swag, it's as soon as you start handing things out, and we had those awesome DCUO capes.
Oh, yeah.
And it was these clawed hands reaching out from the hordes going, I have 2, can I have 7? It was.
Can I have 7?
You're wanting to get a picture of that, aren't you?
I
Okay,
do.
well, I'll do my imitation of Comic-Con hordes late on Sunday.
The thing that I noticed was the lanyards. People would be walking by and people would accost them, demanding to know where they got them.
It was
Wow.
really interesting because it's a sheer force of the crowds that were there. And they also had, because they had a lot of celebrities at Comic-Con, sometimes security guards would block off sections of aisles, which would make the traffic even worse. And there were a few times when I was a little uncomfortable. Outside of that, I mean, the booth itself, DCUO, showed amazingly that there was a huge amount of interest in the Fight for the Light campaign. That was great, and that was a real high point for me, too, watching people, some of them brand new to DCUO, some of them veteran players, playing through that content. It looks fantastic. DCUO is just getting better by the minute. And Magic the Gathering Tactics, I was actually there to demo Magic. Now, some of the players, of course, say, so how come the devs weren't there demoing Magic? Because we have them chained to their desks, working on updates and set 2 for Magic the Gathering. But it gave me a unique opportunity to go out there because I'm a Magic player as well. I like the tabletop card game, but the truth of the matter is I have very few opportunities to get together with me friends anymore and play on tabletop. So Tactics affords me a unique opportunity to play online. And I was, early in development, I was a little dubious, as most proper Magic grognards are. Can we pull it off? The answer is yes. It feels like Magic the Gathering. And right now, because Set 1's been out for several months and Set 2 is approaching, this is the best time ever to play Magic the Gathering Tactics because the prices have dropped on the player auction house for the cards. So we need to come up with some sort of a contest because it's free to play, but what you really want is about 1,000 station cash so that you can buy the tournament pack, which has 3 boosters and 10 additional gold to use on the auction house. Nice. So, Aimee, you should put together some sort of a really easy contest. Something.
Contest for station cash?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to say, one of the fun moments I had was on Sunday. I went really early to get in the Doctor Who line. And I have to say, 1 in 10 of the people had the DCO capes on because they were a nice TARDIS blue.
TARDIS blue. I see. Yeah, no, the capes were a great giveaway.
Yep. And it was fun. It was like, I know that cape.
Yeah, exactly. On my way out, after we packed up the booth. On the way out, I had my cape on, and I realized that I should have given this away to somebody. And then I see a little kid walking by, and he had a Superman shirt on. And take the cape off and asked his mum, would he like this cape? And that was really cool. The kid's eyes got really big, and that's so neat. Yes, best giveaway ever. So also at the booth we had Sideway, which is a really interesting side-scrolling game for the PS3. I can't even describe it. It's like a cross between 2D and 3D, and it's really, really odd and really amazing to watch in action. It's one of those games that I would have dismissed if I hadn't watched people playing through it and seen that this is actually really cool. And that showed well. And then, of course, we also had 4 stations set up with Payday.
Right.
Doing the panic room heist scenario.
Okay.
People would walk up to that going, never heard of this. And they wouldn't walk away for 45 minutes or an hour. Every once in a while, I'd have to gently nudge somebody. Excuse me, sir. Yeah, there's 4 people here been waiting a while. Yeah, I'm almost done. I just want to play this one more time. It went over really well.
Even the guy, the barista at Starbucks has heard of Payday.
Really?
He said the guys from Overkill used to come in all the time.
Nice. Yeah, and we should explain that Overkill is the Swedish development company that has produced Payday, and SOE is privileged to publish it. And it's going over, shall I say, it's going over great guns.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We did a Comic-Con webcast that we'll link to in the show notes that Brasse and Radar hosted.
Wow, that was interesting because it was so loud at Comic-Con. You can't hear yourself think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think most of the webcast is, so how do you think things are going here at Comic-Con today? Oh, I think they're pretty good. It's unbelievable. Comic-Con is a unique experience. If you ever get the opportunity to go there, please do.
And I would like Robin to share with the listeners her celebrity sightings.
Oh, there were so many.
No, but you had meals next to
there
like
was
3 of them.
We went to one really nice restaurant that was right on the corner of Comic-Con. It was right there in the Hard Rock Hotel, and it was 6 o'clock on Friday night. And the first celebrity to walk in the door was Adam Baldwin, Jane from Firefly.
Who Robin has a huge crush on.
I can tell by the look on her face.
And
She's about to melt into her chair there.
But, nobody knew he was there. He was sitting by himself at the bar for a good 10 minutes, and, 6 people came up, sat down with him, and he signed autographs, took pictures with them, stood up, hugged him, took pictures with them, and they left. And then his family came in and sat down. But the one that was kind of creepy was... I had the chair facing the street, and you saw this horde of people, 50, 60, moving as this huge group chasing someone.
Oh, yes, yes.
Poor person.
It's like an amoeba with cameras.
I'm sitting here staring at this really tall, really skinny redhead going, who is that? And I'm like, Kyle, who is that? And he's like, it's Conan O'Brien. And we watched him run down the street as all these people are chasing him down the street.
Poor
and we're
guy.
like, oh, I hope he gets to where he's going. And he turns the corner, comes in, and sits down.
At the restaurant you were eating at?
And it was amazing because those people didn't come in. It was like the door closed and they were just gone.
It's a magical barrier.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then there's one.
Which one?
You saw Micah from where?
Well, that was at lunch. Okay,
Okay.
The rest of dinner, we walked...
Oh, see, now she's just name dropping.
I know, listen to her.
Oh, yes, that too.
The Omni Hotel is like the celebrity hangout. It's right across the street. So we decided, after having such a good dinner, we'd walk in front of it. And walking in front of it, we saw John Noble, who was the steward of Gondor.
He's amazing. Actually,
Your hands.
that's not what he's known for now,
Now
of
he's
course. He's on Fringe, yeah. One of my favorite actors.
While we
Yeah.
were standing there watching him, the Astrid character, the
Oh,
black
yeah.
lady, she came out. And then the redhead, I forget her name, Nina Sharp, she came out. And they were all hugging and signing autographs and taking pictures with people. And finally, it just got so long that they were like, John, we have to go. John, come. And we literally had to drag him across the street to get him to stop signing autographs. And they went to the restroom. We had just left.
Oh, wow.
And as we're watching them walk across the street, Andy Serkis comes out of the hotel.
Wow.
It was just like Friday night, sit in front of the Omni. You'll see more people than you've
Wow.
ever seen.
Now there's your special Comic-Con tip of the day.
And then what Amy's talking about is Sunday afternoon, we decided to go have lunch at kind of our restaurant. It's Acqua Due. It's an Italian restaurant. It's where we have our anniversary dinner every year. And while we're sitting there, Micah, the character from Warehouse 13, comes in and sits down at the table right next to me. And we were just like, nobody knew who she was.
You have all the luck. No one sits by me.
This was my best Comic-Con ever.
Yeah. And then, so before we introduce our interview, Clone Wars Adventures was at the LucasArts booth.
An integral part of that booth. I mean, Clone Wars Adventures is so perfectly styled after the television series that, I mean, it's so great to see something that you just go, it's perfect, it fits, it looks right, it feels right. It got tremendous reception there as well. Yeah.
And they launched the trading card game there.
The live one.
That's right.
The
they
real
had a
one.
different card every day to give out at the show. That was. Oh, can I mention one more thing? We had the DCUO fan event on Saturday night. Oh, that was splendid. Now, first of all, these were some of the most in-demand tickets at the show.
Right.
There were only 300 passes.
I got accosted at dinner for one of them. So I'm
Yeah.
texting her, and she's
Yeah,
like,
she
go
texted-
away.
I did not. I told her what I was telling everybody else. Okay, here's what you tell the people who really want to go. First thing in the morning, log on to Facebook, get the special word of the day that's posted there, and then you have to go and find a DCUO dev at our booth. But you got to make it early. I am not kidding. These passes, they had them allocated for each day. They were gone by 10 a.m.
Wow.
Sometimes earlier than that. I mean, the show only opens at 9 or 9:30 or something. I mean, these were gone instantly. So anyway, I got the job of being the bouncer at the door, right? I had my big, tall, kick-ass boots on, and I have a tattoo, right? So I'm on duty. And it was really neat to see the people coming in and how excited they were to be part of this. And then I had heard Jason Ryan had actually texted me at Comic-Con. He says, you got to see this costume here. I'm going to send you a picture of these people. And what had happened is that a couple of cosplayers had happened to see the DCUO Blur trailer, right, with the future version of the Joker and Harley Quinn, and they had done those as their costumes. They don't play the game. They didn't know we had a booth there. They didn't know we had a party there. But somehow somebody managed to find them and say, you've got to come to this party. So they show up at the door and they're saying, well, we don't have passes. And I'm saying, are you kidding me? Come on. Please come into the party. I mean, the costumes were amazing.
Wow.
I mean, just tremendous. So I think everybody was getting their pictures taken with them.
Posted on Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah. Did they go in front of the green screen?
Yep. It was
Awesome.
really great. I mean, the costumes were brilliant.
I'm going to have to link the green
So-
screen pictures.
Yeah, oh, please do. Because they and again, they didn't have any clue that they were doing anything special, but those were some of the best costumes there. Anyway, the DCUO dev team had a big panel there, and it was great. It was lots of free food, a few free beverages, more than a few, judging by the way people were crawling out the door afterwards. But it went over incredibly well.
Awesome.
And that about wraps it up, I guess. I mean, it was a truly grand show. I enjoyed every minute of it. The only other thing is, we also had Brad Constantine was there selling the
yes.
sketchbook for autism, and they actually sold. Keep in mind that these were going for $5 a piece. And the last time I checked with him on Sunday before things got really busy, they had sold over $1,100 worth at $5 each. So it was great to see that people were out supporting the Autism Community Center by buying these sketchbooks. And those sketchbooks are still available from the Community Center site for $10 a piece. And we'll get Aimee to put the link into the podcast notes for that as well. Now I'm done. I won't bother you with my food poisoning story, which prevented me from drinking and eating as copiously as I would have. I was on a liquid diet for half a Comic-Con, I have to say. It was miserable. So I'm going to make up for it tomorrow with the community team dinner.
Nice.
All right, so we're going to take it away to our interview with Justin Dazet, a member of the Clone Wars Adventures team.
What does he specifically do on that team?
He's a game designer, and game designer too.
Game designer too.
He works with all of the 3D stuff in game.
He's the owner of the 3D
the owner. Yes, he explains that in the interview, and he is like the boss of all the 3D stuff.
I'm impressed
Yes,
already.
I was
All right.
very impressed.
All right, let's listen into that.
Hello, friends and listeners. This is the interview for podcast number 114. I have Justin. Say your last name for me, because I don't want to mess it up.
That's all right. It's Dazet is the
Dazet.
last name. Yep.
On the Clone Wars Adventures team. And we're going to chat about Comic-Con, the Hasbro Armory, mission on Iceberg 3, which sounds really exciting.
It is.
But first, I want our listeners to get to know you better.
Okay,
Is
cool.
that okay?
Absolutely.
So what's your title here at SOE?
My title officially is Content Designer 2, I guess would be the official title. But how that's relevant to Clone Wars Adventures is I'm the 3D game and world product owner.
Okay.
So essentially everything that goes on in the Jedi Temple and the main 3D world that your character runs around in, and any of the 3D games, which would be non-two-dimensional Flash games. So the games like Lightsaber Duel, Republic Defender, Galactic Forces, that's my domain.
Ooh,
yes.
That sounds very exciting.
It is. It's pretty cool. I enjoy it.
Is there a handle that the players might know you
You know,
by?
I don't have a handle yet. I've only been doing this a year and a half, and I still have yet to pick a really cool handle. So I'm kind of working on it. So you should, tell our people if anybody has any suggestions, as long as it's not like dummy or moron. I mean, I'm all ears. So
All right,
I've still got to choose one.
Did you hear that, guys? Justin needs an alias.
I need an AKA, also
Yeah?
known as.
So, Justin, how did you get into the video game industry?
Well, I decided to get into the industry when I was living back east in Maine, and I threw my life into a truck and I drove out here, and and I was a very big fan of SOE's games. I was an EQ2 player for a very long time. So I happened to luck out and get an opportunity to start as a customer service rep here.
Okay.
And I then worked my way up into the QA department, also on EQ2 at the time. And from there, got a design apprenticeship on Clone Wars way back before it was launched, when it was in its pre-alpha state almost.
Wow.
And from there, just worked my way up through the design ranks, and here I sit now.
Now you own the world.
I know, now I own the world. I'm still working on my evil laugh, too.
Yeah. All right. So, since this is our event recap podcast, can you tell our listeners about Comic-Con, what went on there for you?
Sure. For me personally, or
For you personally, for Clone Wars Adventures?
for Clone Wars? Well, for me personally, I got to see a TARDIS in person, which was the most amazing thing ever. Because I'm a big Doctor Who fan.
Okay.
For Clone Wars Adventures, we have a wonderful working relationship with LucasArts, and they are absolutely great to work with on the show. In getting us advanced information, stuff we'll need. So they generously opened up their area, and we actually were able to set up 3 kiosks with them. And we demoed the game. And we also, I don't know if you're familiar with the card game we have in there, Card Commander. We just recently launched a physical cards with those with Topps, the card company. Yeah. Yep. And which is incredible to me that I work on something that's affiliated with Topps as well. Star Wars I used to collect baseball cards and have Star Wars figures, and now it's like I work with both of these huge companies, and so it's kind of neat.
Living the dream.
Living the dream for sure. So we actually, in addition to demoing the game, we're giving out some exclusive cards. We had Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Anakin, which are all actually some of the best cards in the game that we were handing out to people who came by. So.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it was a really neat experience. We love to see our fans and love to see just in general the people that love to come out to Comic-Con, because that's our people. We love it.
Any cool celebrities come by the booth?
I did not personally see any this year. It was a couple years ago I was there. I saw Thomas Jane walking around, the guy who played the Punisher a few years ago.
Okay.
Remember? Yeah. It's really interesting because he was looking at the G.I. Joe figures, and he had this grin on his face like he was 6 years old. And I was like, wow, there's the Punisher smiling at G.I. Joe figures.
Yeah. People forget that they're, the celebrities are just like us. They geek out over silly
It's
stuff.
hilarious,
too.
yeah. I had an opportunity back last year to actually go up to LucasArts for the Season 3 premiere, and I met all the voice actors that do the game. Such down-to-earth, nice people. I honestly can't recall the names off the top of my head. But the actor who voices the clones, the actress who does Ahsoka, like just all amazingly friendly, down-to-earth people. So
Way cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Hasbro. There's something new involving Clone Wars Adventures coming up.
Hasbro, yeah. Well, we are, I don't know if you've been in the toy aisles at your local stores lately, your department stores, Toys R Us, Target, wherever you like to go. But we're currently running a promotion with Hasbro. We have this little sticker and insert on all the packages where new and existing players can get a little bit of free station cash, or as a new player, you can get a free month to play. And that's in addition to your awesome Hasbro toy that you're going to get, of course, too. So in conjunction with Hasbro, because we're kind of developing this partnership, I don't think it's going to be out until either this week or 2 weeks from now. I think it's this week it's coming out. Yeah, actually it is this week. It's this Friday. We're going to be opening up a section of our marketplace which is called the Hasbro Armory.
Okay.
In fact, players will be getting a note in their communicator from Commander Breaker telling them that we've opened up this armory, and they can click and go directly to it. And we're going to have some really cool exclusive items in there, which are going to be pieces that were either made exclusively for Hasbro or pieces that we may have used a design off of one of the toys that's out on the shelf that maybe hasn't made it in the game or in the show yet or something like that.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it's essentially going to be an exclusive kind of special section of our armory with some really neat limited run items. So
awesome.
Yeah, yep.
Way cool. All right, so Mission on Iceberg 3.
Mission on Iceberg 3, yeah. This was our big update of a couple weeks ago. Do you know anything about this?
No, I was waiting to talk to you about it.
Okay. Do you watch the show at all?
I'm ashamed to say no.
Oh, you should watch it. It's really good. Okay. Well, essentially, Season 3 ended a few months ago, and then we have Season 4 on the radar coming out this fall, of course. So the executive, I think he's the executive producer and the head writer, Dave Filoni, of the Clone Wars cartoon, has been working really closely with us and approached us at the end of Season 3 and said that he wanted to do kind of a tie-in story, essentially, in the game that would help lead into some of the events of Season 4, which we thought was just absolutely amazing. I mean, number one, it's going to give us an opportunity to give really, really loyal players the opportunity to get in and kind of experience something that they wouldn't get if they just watched the show. But number two, it's part of the Star Wars canon that we're helping create with the guy who's writing it, which was just really neat. So he gave us an outline for the story, and we went through and kind of organized it into something where we said, okay, well, this game can work here, this game can work here, this game can work here, and sent it back over to him. And from there, we just kind of, after a few revisions back and forth, came up with the Mission on Iceberg 3. And what this is going to do, I'm not going to give away anything for... No spoilers for anyone who hasn't played it yet.
Okay.
But suffice it to say that it is a direct lead-in to the events that pick right up in the first episode of Season 4.
Wow.
Which I've had the opportunity to watch, by the way, and is absolutely awesome. So lots of really, really cool action.
Okay.
But to give you an idea, you're going to get to see a character that, in fact, doesn't even appear in the show, but is referenced in the first episode. I can't tell you why he doesn't appear in the show, but...
No spoilers.
There's a reason you'll discover it. I'll get my evil laugh going on that one. But it's really fantastic as a huge Star Wars fan myself, to help create something that leads into another piece of media in the same universe. To go from playing the game and going through the campaign and getting all these neat story details that I otherwise can't get anywhere else. And then to be able to watch the Season 1 episode and see how they transition together is absolutely amazing and a lot of fun as a player and a fan myself.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we're quite excited to have that out. That came out a couple of weeks ago, so that's available right now in the game.
So go play it.
Go play it. Go check it out.
So what are you playing personally?
Well, I'm playing Clone Wars Adventures, of course. I always like to stay up to date with what's going on. In fact, I'm a huge fan of the housing in our game.
Course.
I love just going into people's houses and checking them out, because I'm a guy, I have no interior decoration sense. So to go in and see what some of our players who really put their minds to it can do is astounding to me, and I love watching that.
Have you been on one of the home inspection tours?
I have not. What is that exactly?
The community manager, Lydia Zatoja Pope, does
I know her. We did a video
webcast.
thing. Yeah, webcast. The other day.
Every Friday,
that's what they call them.
3 o'clock, she logs in game, and they tour players' housing. And just,
Very cool.
The players get to sign up, and they do about 10. It takes about an hour and a half, and they just tour the people's houses and see what cool decorating techniques they have.
Oh, that is very cool.
Yeah.
Sometime if I can try to avoid work for an hour and a half on a Friday, I might see if I can sneak over and check it out.
Yeah, I don't know about sneaking in game, because if the players know you're online, your chat just goes. I help her out with that. And it's just, Siri, can you answer this question and this question and this question? It's pretty crazy. But
I'll go in undercover.
Yeah, undercover.
So what else am I playing? Actually, I am finally getting a chance to play some DCUO on the PC, which I'm a big superhero geek as well. I love Marvel and DC. I've always been a huge fan. And since DCUO launched, I truly just have not had the time to actually really get into it. I've played a little bit, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be so much fun, but I've got a ton of work to do.
Yeah.
I just haven't had time to do anything with it.
I hear you.
So I've just recently started working on my, I think he's like a level 11 bad guy. Yeah.
Bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
You and Robin.
I gotta play the bad guys, you know?
She's a villain, too.
Yeah.
The thumbs upping each other through the window.
So yeah, that's basically what's eating up my time.
Cool.
I also play. You ever heard? It's not a game we put out, but it's called Worms. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh,
game?
I love Worms.
Okay, yeah, Worms 2 Armageddon. My brother and I battle every weekend on that.
Yeah, I used to play that with some friends. You know, we'd all huddle on the couch together and pass the controller around. I think it was a Dreamcast that we played that on.
Those games are hilarious, though, aren't they? It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Awesome. All right, so before we sign off, is there any one thing that you want our listeners to know about you, about Clone Wars, about SOE, anything?
Oh, man. Well, first off, get excited for Season 4 of the Clone Wars cartoon, because the episodes I've seen are amazing, and there's some really, really exciting stuff coming up.
Okay.
And in the meantime, definitely jump into Clone Wars Adventures. Make sure to check out Mission Iceberg 3. You can go talk to oh my goodness, what is the clone's name?
A clone.
Yeah, he's outside of the war room. Wow, I'm spacing out right now.
We'll put that information in the show notes.
Yeah, I know.
And for everybody to...
It's one of those things, I stared at it for the last, 4 months.
So you forgot to say.
And as soon as I moved on to something else, it's like all the information went out of my head, yeah. And the only other thing would just be for anyone listening who's a fan of just the Star Wars franchise in general, I hope they can rest assured that there is some big, really huge, geeky Star Wars fans like myself that are working on the game and constantly doing our best to give them the coolest Star Wars experience that we can. So that would be about it, I'd say.
Well, thank you, Justin, for coming in. I'm so glad you stopped by to talk about Comic-Con and the Hasbro Armory, and I'm really excited about Mission to Iceberg 3. That sounds really cool.
No problem. It was my pleasure.
So thank you so much.
Okay,
Till next time.
Absolutely.
All right. And we're back.
See, I knew she was going to say that. She always says that. And we're back.
But aren't you
and we're
happy
back.
to be back?
And we're back. And we're back.
I'm happy to be back. To talk about our upcoming events, which we have 2 of. So you're going to be at Gamescom.
Well, I'm going to be at Gamescom.
What is Gamescom?
Well, Gamescom is the prestigious European video game show. I mean, it's a huge convention, and it's going to be held in Cologne, Germany. Mm-hmm. And it's right in the middle of August. I know I arrive on the Sunday the 14th, and I'm there for almost a week because it overlaps with GDC Europe.
Nice.
And one of the reasons I'm going is because I'm a speaker at GDC Europe's Community Managers Conference in the middle of that.
Do you speak German?
No, but I can drink German beer like nobody's business. I'll show them how it's done while I'm over there. So yeah, looking forward to that a whole lot. I've already heard from some of our European players who are going to be over there. Hope to get together with them as well. I know they're hoping for a free beer. Happy to accommodate you people. If you can track me down and show me where the best beer is, I'm happy to buy.
Are they webcasting or recording any of your speeches?
I don't know because it's going to be just me. It'll be me and my iPhone. Hello? This is me. I'm talking now. No, I'm not going to be doing that.
So, the GamesCon is from the 17th to the 21st in August. It's described as the world's largest trade fair and event highlight for interactive games and entertainment.
Right.
And which we're actually not, we don't have our own booth. We
don't have an SOE booth.
Right.
We are very likely going to be partnering with SCE, which is the PlayStation Network overseas there. And likely, I've heard that Payday is going to be there for sure.
Right.
So looking forward to seeing those guys again. And hopefully I'll get to spend some time at the booth as well and get to see some of our players while I'm overseas.
All right. And then
DragonCon. Right, DragonCon.
So I have a question. Are you going to be here at all during August?
No. It'll be awesome.
So
you guys will be so happy to see me gone.
No.
Well, you know me. You'll still get nasty grams from me, from my iPhone,
So could you
from me
Skype
laptop.
into the next podcast?
Yeah,
from
exactly.
Germany?
Get it
That's what I'll
done.
do.
Oh, so this year's DragonCon is the 10th anniversary of DragonCon.
Ooh, nice.
And it runs from, I think, September 3rd through the 5th, I want to say. I forgot to write that down.
Yeah,
The
something
first
like
weekend in September.
Yeah,
'cause
it's Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. And we're a part of the MMO track. And I have both links for you guys for the show notes. Because the MMO, you can't actually find a link from the MMO track on the main page.
I know.
I had to hunt that down.
It's one of the most
bizarre things.
dense, heavily populated, wordy, difficult to navigate sites I've ever come across. So I'm really glad that you got the schedule for us, and because until this moment I had no idea what the times were for our panels.
I did track it down. So Friday, 7 p.m., the DC Universe Online Q&A. Sheraton, the Piedmont Room.
Right.
And then follow that up with the SOE Meet and Greet, same room, 8:30. And then on Saturday, we're co-sponsor of the MMO Gathering of Heroes Party.
That's correct.
And that's in the Sheraton Capitol Ballroom.
That's the big party, right?
That is the big party.
Oh, that's the big party.
Yes.
There is a whole lot of dancing going on there.
Didn't you guys do lightsaber
Limbo
last year?
Yep, definitely. Now, keep in mind that what we're doing here is we're taking Tony and Ted, also known as Radar X and Meps. These are the two most undancingest guys I know. So I
shake
think
'em up.
that podcast listeners are going to have to challenge them to dance at the party and allow me to get it on video.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
That would be
I
fabulous.
think Tony's preparing his resignation letter already.
And then we're actually only kind of a part of this. On Sunday at 7, the MMO trivia contest, we donated pricing for this.
What did we donate?
We donated PlanetSide 2 t-shirts, Station Cash, and Clone Wars Adventures light up keychain lightsabers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's at the Sheraton as well in the Savannah room. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, looking forward to this. We always have a really sizable turnout of SOE game players at these events. So, yeah, that'll be great. We'll have to see if we can dig up some extra... Oh, I shouldn't say that out loud.
Extra swag.
Maybe we can find some extra capes to bring to the DC Universe Q&A.
Awesome.
I'll have to look. I'll have to contact.
Let's find out
people.
if we've got any left.
But I did. I'm packing lots of lanyards.
Oh, great.
PlanetSide 2 t-shirts, Station Cash, some bouncy ball or stress balls, all kinds of swags going in these boxes for you guys to hand out.
Terrific. Looking forward to it.
All right, so we have another fan spot winner. I'm so excited.
Okay, so who's on the fan spot this month?
His name is Tans Six Fingers.
Cool. Yeah,
And-
we know Tans. He's an avid poster.
Is he EQ player or EQ2 player?
Because Paistro's a little worried.
Why?
You'll have to listen. This is a story time with Paistro. And Tans wrote...
Wait. Story time with Paistro?
Yeah.
Now I'm worried.
So Tans wrote a story, and Paistro read it, and
He might have added a little to it.
He Now I'm extremely worried. Have we alerted HR?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We might want to. So we're going to take it away to that. And Tans, wins a shiny $10 station cash card.
And random sound effects from Aimee.
Yes, that's free. So I encourage everybody to enter the fan spot.
Yes, we're getting low. We only have one left.
Oh, goodness gracious. I did encourage a lot of people at Fan Faire to enter. Everybody was like, I could do that. That's easy. That sounds like fun. Well, please enter, because we need more people.
So give us a brief rundown. In order to enter fan spot, what do you have to do? Contract chicken pox?
No,
Sure.
right?
Tattoos on the face?
I like that.
I mean, if you like to write poems about your game, you
Short
like to write
stories.
skits, short stories,
So these are
songs.
these are brief advertisements that we then record.
Mhm.
Is that it?
Humorous,
Humorous,
serious,
whatever.
Cool.
Yeah.
Here's your big chance to advocate for your game.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely. And if we pick yours, it gets read on the podcast, and you win $10 in station cash.
That is awesome.
So it's your chance to be famous.
All right, so now we're going to listen to Story Time with Paistro.
That's right.
Right. Okay, I'm afraid.
And now for Storytime with Paistro. Our latest Fan Spot Challenge winner. Today we'll be reading Last Elf Standing by Tan's Six Fingers. Feeling a bit sheepish, but not at all goatish, Tans picked his way quickly yet carefully through the battle-strewn catacombs. Carcasses of lizard beasts and other assorted armored minions of the great dragon Terranax lay everywhere, mute witnesses to the recent carnage. The pervading smell of a dank rock and mildew was now yielding to the overwhelming smell of sulfur, so he wound a bit of spare cloth around his face in a vain attempt to mask the stench. It was a distinct reminder of the 6 months he spent interning at Sony Online Entertainment. Tans hesitated outside the main chamber, but the only sound detected by his elfish hearing was that of the braziers within, which provided sinister lighting for the room. Readying his short sword, he stealthily crept around the doorway, preparing for the worst. He breathed a sigh of relief. There was no movement within, save for the flickering flames. Many corpses littered the floor, among them the rest of his band of adventurers. They must have all succumbed to the infamous poison-based cloud for which this dragon was known. He thought that it is ironic that his low resistance to fear-based magic and his cowardly elven nature had saved his life, causing him to blindly run, screaming at full bard speed down the corridors as his friends gave their all to defeat Terranax. Between the ranger Rowan's bullseye headshot and the gnome wizard Amaral's epic ice comet, Terranax didn't stand a chance. Tans carefully stepped around the pieces of corpses that Sorimor's vicious blade had severed from the bodies of minions, several times almost slipping on the blood and gore of his companions that coated the floor. He had never seen so many zombies crawling out of the walls themselves, but he thought to himself, that's what you get when you raid an ancient defiled crypt, or visit my ex-girlfriend's house. He would play his song of resurrection for his friends in due time, so they could divvy up the loot after he had a chance to pick through it first. In the rear of the chamber, he found an ornate chest and numerous bookshelves. He unwrapped his lockpicks and examined the chest. After disarming the trap in the lock, it came open easily, revealing a gleaming claymore and a decorated chainmail hauberk amongst the piles of coins and potions. No bard instruments, though. As he headed to check the shelves of books, something glittered on the floor caught his eye, and he prodded it with the tip of his sword. It was an old coin, and the words Torsus Ton revealed by removing a layer of grime. A collector of coins might find this valuable, or if not, it's probably vendor trash. Tan spent several minutes searching through the tomes, seeking what his months of research had indicated was here. The silence of the room prickled his skin, and he cast a furtive look behind him, but only corpses remained. There, stuffed behind the flora and fauna of Kithakor, was the prize that made this whole expedition worthwhile. the scroll for the fabled Den-Mother's homemade chicken soup recipe. That's chicken soup for the EverQuest soul. Thank you very much.
And we're back.
See, wasn't that bad?
See? And we're back again.
Oh my goodness. Do you know what's not on here?
Oh, what's
What are you
not on
playing?
here?
What are you playing?
Playing?
I
Comic-Con?
know. Yeah, I am ashamed to say that I am playing nothing. But some good friends of mine are transferring to my server, so I'm excited, and they're probably going to make us play because we see them every single day. So that'll be nice. But they told us we're not allowed to tell our guild who they are.
Nice.
Why?
They work here.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's a little known fact. You know, it's interesting because I was just reading a thread on one of our many, many game forums this morning where they say, you know, it sure be nice if some SOE people played these games once in a while. Oh, we do.
Yeah.
But we don't show up in glorious, glowing GM armor and start playing with you in instances. Most of us play very privately on our own play accounts with our own hard-earned weapons and armor. And, you know, I think I probably complained about this before, but the last time I played, I was thrown out of a group for having too gimpy a armor. So I'm not kidding me. Poor dwarven mystic, and your gear's just not up to snuff. Sorry, boot.
Come
It
on,
was
AB,
sad.
and play
It
in
was
my
sad.
guild. We would never kick you out of a group for that. Ever.
They might kick me out of a group for other reasons. So sorry, forgot to heal you. I was opening my beer at the time.
She's always trying to get more people for her guild.
I am.
She got my sister.
I did. Her sister's in our guild.
So anyway, most of us SOE people do play our games. It's just you might not know that we're there. I kind of blew me cover in Magic the Gathering Tactics, though,
blew my-
because me play name is Brasse there, so
Yeah.
it's pretty easy.
My
to tell.
cover got blown because I have a couple guildies who used to be guides. So when they played Star Wars, they said, hey, where do you guys play? Do you mind if we play with you? Because they were friends with my husband, they were friends with me because of the guide program. And so they joined our guild then. And so they come to every fan fair and they took a picture of me and captioned it on our forums as my play character name. And then a very similar picture was posted on the SOE site as Ashlanne. And somebody goes, huh.
Twins separated at birth.
So
I think not.
yeah, so about half my guild knows who I am, and I don't really hide it because none of them harass me about
Oh,
stuff.
it's so fun to watch that.
when they do.
Well, like, there's several EQ2 devs that went to Fan Faire and were talking to members of their own guild who didn't know who they were. And you could see them trying to, well, you know, I've heard this from somebody else. And it was just like,
They were
you're
trying
funny.
to to avoid the issue.
That's really funny.
Yeah, but my husband and I have not been playing because, you know, Fan Faire, our anniversary, and so lots of stuff. And so we
Life.
plan to start playing again regularly this weekend, actually. Our Saturday date.
It's a good weekend to play. You want to know why?
Double XP!
Nice.
And EQ2.
Yes.
You heard it here, folks.
It's in the news.
Oh, it's in the news. And it's probably posted all over.
Yeah, it's
all over
sorry. I
anyway.
mean, it's posted all over Facebook. And, yeah.
So what we're all
What are you
playing
playing?
is what we want to play.
Oh,
Soon.
bugger! I've had so little time to play, but the one of the good things about Comic-Con is that I got to play Magic the Gathering Tactics and get paid for it and talk to people about it. So, I mean, we always have a demo account to use, but I actually wanted to use my own account so I could show people the sort of decks that you can build. And me decks in Magic the Gathering Tactics are
nice.
they're a lot of fun. I mean, I can't say that they're tournament winners because I like to build decks that are kind of fun, theme decks and that sort of
Right.
thing. But it's really nice to test them out against the different scenarios and show people how you can build decks and change things around to suit different purposes. So I got to play a lot of Magic the Gathering Tactics there. So yeah, that's pretty much what all I've had a chance to play.
Nothing.
She was playing Comic-Con. She was playing
I have
Spot the
those-
Celebrity.
Yeah. Wouldn't you?
No.
Have you ever gone to Comic-Con as a fan?
No.
Yeah, me either.
Well, actually, I have, but you know, I'd rather work at the booth. I don't like crawling through the
crowds.
crowds. I mean, it's
scary.
so. I'd rather be at the booth with a purpose and talking to the people that come there than seeing. I did the whole Comic-Con thing one year and sitting in line for 3 hours and
No thanks.
not me sort of thing.
My one thing that I have been doing with my spare time is watching Fringe. We've been buying the seasons and trying
That's
to catch up an hour or two every night.
It's a good show.
It's awesome.
It's a real good show.
Yeah, I've been working too much, so, and playing, or, kid
Family.
life, so EQ2 this weekend. I'm on it.
I'll be on Vanguard this weekend.
Ooh.
We have a big guild event on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's it for this podcast. We thank you for listening to podcast 114. We hope you enjoyed the Fan Faire and Comic-Con recaps. And we hope you're excited as we are about Gamescom and DragonCon.
Oh, really excited. I can hardly wait.
The interview with Justin had some great interview about Clone Wars adventures. And we'll see you in 2 weeks where we hope to have some EQ2 Game Update 61 info for you.
Can hardly wait for that.
So take care, folks.
Bye, all.
What's this thing?
I think it's it's a filter for the mic.
Let me just check one thing on
It
it.
helps our S's and our P's.
Oh, so if I breathe really heavily into that, that's
Yeah.
gonna block it.
No, it'll hear that. It's not the wind
If I get
filter.
up really close and I'm like,
You know she's gonna put that in the outtakes, right? She's still recording right now.
This is just a pop filter, so when you...
oh, so I can't spit on the mic?
Correct.
Gotcha. Wow, I feel like a pro already.
Yeah.
When you're ready.
All right. All right.